conversation is still going. You're nodding. Your face looks present, but your replies are getting shorter. Eye contact fades for a second. Then the phone appears in your hand. A quick glance at the screen. From the outside, it looks casual, but inside, something already shifted. The decision to leave happened minutes ago. Not physically, just mentally. You're still standing there, but part of you has already walked out. That quiet exit happens more often than people notice. At first, the distance is small. A message arrives. You see it. You don't answer. Not immediately. Maybe later tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Invitations start getting postponed. Replies get shorter. Conversations that once lasted 20 minutes now end in 5. Nothing dramatic, no argument, no clear moment of separation, just a slow tightening of personal space. People still think everything is normal, but the circle around you keeps getting smaller. Distance rarely begins with rejection, it begins with delay. Before replying to a text, something else appears. A quick internal scan. What will this conversation become? How long will it last? Will it turn into something emotional? Something complicated? Your fingers hover above the keyboard. You're not just replying, you're calculating. Even small interactions begin to carry preparation. A simple, "Hey," can feel like the start of a commitment. So the mind runs scenarios before the message is even sent. Most people see silence. They don't see the mental rehearsal happening first. Gradually, silence starts to feel easier. Not lonely. Predictable. A quiet room carries fewer surprises. No sudden questions. No emotional turns. No need to explain yourself. The mind relaxes in empty space. Shorter conversations feel cleaner. Leaving early feels calm. Being alone isn't just peaceful anymore. It feels controlled, and control feels safe. At some point, the distance stops feeling like a choice. Replies become naturally brief. Explanations disappear. Emotional details stay inside. You stop noticing when you hold something back. Protection becomes automatic. A quiet filter appears between you and everyone else. What once required effort now happens without thinking. The habit is subtle, but habits shape identity faster than decisions. And something strange begins to happen. You cut the conversation short. You leave the room early. You stop replying. But the conversation doesn't actually end. It moves inside your head. Later that night, the mind replays it. The tone you used, the look on their face, the message you didn't send, the sentence you almost said. Cutting people off doesn't always remove the interaction. Sometimes it just relocates it from the room to your mind. Over time, another change appears. Spontaneity fades. Jokes are filtered before leaving your mouth. Responses arrive a few seconds later than they used to. Even simple reactions feel measured. A small pause before speaking. A slight check before showing emotion. Nothing dramatic, just quiet self-monitoring. The mind is always adjusting, always managing the version of you that people see. And that constant adjustment has a cost. Being guarded is exhausting, but the relief is real. You leave a conversation early. You ignore a message. You quietly remove someone from your life. And immediately, the tension drops. The body relaxes. The mind feels lighter. Relief arrives quickly, so quickly that the brain learns something. Distance works. Every time the pressure disappears, the habit strengthens. The mind remembers the fastest path back to calm. And the fastest path often becomes the permanent one. Now walk into a crowded room. Something automatic happens. Your eyes scan the space. Who's here? Where can you sit? How long should you stay? Which conversation might trap you the longest? Exit points appear before introductions do. You choose seats carefully. You position yourself near the edge, just in case. To others, it looks like normal awareness, but inside, the mind is already planning the escape. Eventually, something deeper settles in. The behavior stops being a strategy. It becomes a description. You're not just avoiding people. You're someone who keeps distance, someone who prefers space. someone who doesn't get too involved. Relationships begin to feel like interruptions, moments where your carefully balanced calm might be disturbed. Distance no longer feels temporary. It feels like your natural setting. Then something unusual happens. Someone doesn't react the way you expect. They don't chase, they don't pressure you, they don't force closeness. They simply stay present, steady, not trying to break the distance, just not disappearing because of it. And suddenly, the usual pattern feels unfamiliar. The quiet separation you rely on doesn't unfold the same way. For a moment, the system pauses, and something subtle becomes clear. From the outside, this behavior can look cold, but very often, it started as protection. Now, think back to the beginning. The quiet exit, the shorter replies, the fading eye contact. From the outside, it looked like detachment, like someone slowly cutting people off. But inside, it was something else. Anticipation, caution, a careful management of emotional exposure. Not rejecting people, just controlling how much of yourself enters the room. The distance wasn't always about others. Sometimes it was about preserving energy. Sometimes it was about avoiding unpredictable moments. And sometimes it was simply the safest way the mind knew how to move through the world. So the next time a conversation is still happening and your attention quietly starts leaving before you do, you might notice it. That moment when the exit happens first in the mind, long before the body follows.